What up, what up, what up? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ. This is TL Fantasy on the Destination Dynasty YouTube channel with my co-host, my boy, my brother, bro. What's going on, Troy?
Not much, man. You said the name wrong, bro. You said Destination Dynasty, Destination Debbie, bro. You don't know where we at, my guy.
We on one today, baby. A lot of news. It's been a busy week. Troy, you've been out there partying, out there Tampa wedding. How was it?
Man, things are dope, man. Like it was lit, my guy. It was so lit.
We had a good ass time.
We had a good time, man.
I wanted to be there. Shit. Where the invite?
Man, next time, bro. It wasn't my wedding. I couldn't invite you, bro.
But listen, we got
I'll pull some strings later.
It's Tuesday. You know what it is, man. TL Fantasy. A lot of trade news today. We're going to get our reactions, impact, just basically what helps our fantasy teams. You know what I mean? These trades, there's a lot of movement. We're going to get into it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe the video. And please make sure you share the video while we're live, man. Let's get into some
thumbs
of the
up.
heat.
Yo, make sure all y'all thumbs up. We really appreciate y'all. Yeah, these trade reactions, man. I cannot wait to get into these trade reactions.
Yes, sir.
Let's shout out to the people real quick. I see Tyler, Dynasty Barry, Toronto Dave. I see AC, Devin, Caleb, Justin, Jay, Rubio,
in here.
Aaron. Yo, I appreciate y'all, man. Let's rock tonight, man. I'm in a good mood. Let's make sure we do the damn
thing. Get into it, bro. What was your favorite trade? Let's just rock it off like that. I mean, you can't be a
favorite.
Homer.
Okay,
you can't be a homer though. Don't be.
But you can't ask me what my favorite trade is if my favorite trade just happens to be a homer trade.
I swear to God,
bro, but it's the best trade. Okay, for those who don't know, I'm a Dolphins fan, my guy. Look, trades. I'm a Dolphins fan, right? It has to be the best trades, right? We're gonna get into all of them. I think this isn't really fine. There's a couple of them I like. Bradley Chubb. I don't think you realize how big of a deal Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins is, because it's not fancy relevant, but look, the Dolphins linebackers were kind of sorry. Bradley Chubb is one of the best. He's a linebacker that also could rush the passer, and the Dolphins are like one of the worst in the league at rushing the passer.
Yeah,
but guy, like that Bradley Chubb trade was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, and like people are talking about Dolphins to the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know about Dolphins to the Super Bowl, but one thing that you need as a good team, you need to be able to rush the passer, right? The Dolphins have to go up against Josh Allen's, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson's, all the and you need somebody that could rush the passer, put pressure on them, because the Dolphins, what they do a lot is they blitz because they've had hard time rushing the passer. Bradley Chubb now allows the team, the D-line, to be able to only rush 4, which puts less pressure on, less pressure on having to blitz as many times. So it's a huge trade. But there's other trades I really love it.
IDP,
what was your favorite trade? What was your favorite
IDP
trade?
Though? That is a huge fantasy relevant implement there, and definitely for defenses. If you're still in leagues playing it, that's definitely one of the things that that add, like you explained, that QB pressure is important, like sacks and interceptions, calls, and that fumble and et cetera, that is great. But my favorite trade, honestly, was out of nowhere, was the Calvin Ridley to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yo, when I seen that notification, bro, I thought that was a troll account, because I'm just like, yeah, right, no way. And then you get the Bleacher Report, you get the email. It's like, yo, this is nuts. Calvin Ridley with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk. Man, this offense looks good next year, though.
Oh yeah, for Dynasty, the Calvin Ridley trade. And one thing about a lot of people in Dynasty, we should have been doing this before, but I think you can still do it now. People should be buying Calvin Ridley. You should have bought him before. I didn't do it, but I feel like right now, because he's still suspended, you can probably get him cheaper now than you can get him next year, because once he has a good game and goes off, that's done. You're not going to be able to get him again.
That's it. So,
I think it's going to be.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday's price, not today's price. But I like that too. But let's talk about some other ones, right? What was one of the most random trades was TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings in division. Like, I don't think in recent memory, I've seen a trade of that magnitude. Again, like a trade of that magnitude. He is not just like a scrub tight end. He's an excellent, he's a very good tight end. And they traded him, and Lions traded him in division. Like, tell me, why would they do that? Why in the world would they do that?
I mean, honestly, I love the trade. I mean, Irv Smith goes down, he's banged up, high ankle sprain. He's out for a while. And, he was one of my guys that just were just disappointing me, man, as a sleeper. I loved him as a sleeper, but he just never stays healthy. I mean, injured in camp, he gets out, he's quiet. Now he's injured again. It's like, all right, it's a dub. Get him out of here. But TJ Hawk, I love this. Like, do you remember when Kirk Cousins was targeting Kyle Rudolph heavily? Like, he was fantasy relevant. Now you put in TJ Hawk. That's what they've been missing this whole time, trying to get out of Irv Smith. This offense just took a huge upgrade just with TJ Hawk, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen doing his thing when he's healthy. I know the guy's old, but he's out there doing what he can. And now TJ Hawk in that offense, it just elevates, man.
It does. I mean, like Irv Smith has been disappointing. I know he was everyone's favorite sleeper. He hasn't done much. I know he's hurt, so wishing him a speedy recovery. But TJ Hawkinson, he definitely brings another element, right? He's a big athletic tight end who we've seen flashes. We just haven't seen enough, right? We just haven't seen the consistency that we want from him, right? He could be top 5. TJ Hawkinson can be top 5, and maybe in this offense under Kevin O'Connell, maybe we see TJ Hawkinson just go another level, right? We know Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's not the Adam Thielen we know, right? He's kind of there. He's kind of there. He's taking targets, but I feel like if TJ Hawkinson, I think he's still number 3 in targets, but is there a possibility that he can be the number 2 option on that team? I think
yes.
I think so. And in a number 2 option in that system is extremely valuable.
Yeah, it is valuable. And I think he could easily just be that second option in that offense with Adam Thielen not performing like how we once knew him perform, but known him to perform. But I feel like TJ Hawk, he's electric. And Kirk Cousins is going to rely on him a lot in that middle of the field.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love the TJ Hawkinson trade. I think that everyone in the chat, people popping off, I think a lot of people are agreeing that TJ Hawkinson that trade was unexpected. It was unexpected, but I think it was so dope. All right, let's talk about another trade that the Dolphins made. Jeff Wilson Jr. So we'll go back to the Bradley Chubb trade. So as part of the Bradley Chubb trade, the Dolphins traded a 4th-round pick, and they added Chase Edmonds, who was supposed to be the starting running back.
Throwaway.
Yeah, he is a throwaway pick, right? Just packaged them. We know the Broncos have been dealing with a lot of running back issues. Now Jeff Wilson, all of a sudden, like, he got traded. So the Dolphins traded with the 49ers. It's basically the 49ers backfield, right? Mostert and Jeff Wilson again. It's just in Miami. Same system. It was a smart trade because he's familiar with the system. He's the perfect fit. And Jeff Wilson is a good running back, and they only had to give up a 5th-round pick. It was a genius trade. And we know that Raheem Mostert.
Like, what does this mean for fantasy, though? What does this mean for fantasy? You already know how I'm coming. I'm
getting to that. For fantasy purposes, I think it's great for. It definitely hurts Mostert a bit because Mostert, I think it's better in a way because Mostert might not get the same volume that he got before, but that might be a good thing because that makes it less likely for him to get injured because, again, he's a 32-year-old running back who's had injury history.
Baby.
No, but listen, so he's had injury history in the past, right? So the way his volume was going, it'd be hard to imagine Raheem Mostert. And then, he's also dealing with like a little knee injury. So for him to get that volume all year, it'd be hard to imagine Raheem Mostert holding up. Now you have someone like Jeff Wilson who can take a little off of Raheem Mostert. And it's gonna be a tandem. And also, it's like we saw Chase Edmonds just look ugly. He just sucked. He sucked. Yeah, he sucked. Chase Edmonds, he sucked. He sucked.
The Glizzy Gobbler of the year.
Look, yes, he's the Glizzy Gobbler of the year. But now you have Jeff Wilson, right, who knows the system. He could catch, right? And another thing, like, he's not going to be dropping passes like, Chase Edmonds. But it's just there's going to be a dynamic duo. There's going to be a dynamic duo.
But the upside that I see with Mostert, because he's out there running routes. He's running routes out there. He's getting his cardio in. I feel as though if they're going to bring in Jeff Wilson and take more of his plate, why not get him more involved in the passing game? Because right now he's ran more routes than Saquon Barkley. Sounds crazy, but that is a fact. But it's like he's running all these routes, but he's not seeing the targets. You know what I mean? It's like 20 targets. I think he saw. That's not a lot for a guy that's running X amount of routes. So I feel as though if you're going to utilize him in an offense, I know Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they're breaking records right now. And by the way, that is a wide receiver duo of Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. You know what I mean? That is disgusting what Tua is doing over there. But I feel as though fantasy-wise, the upside leans to me with Mostert in the passing game.
I mean, yeah, I think Raheem Mostert is definitely going to be the one who's more in the passing game. I feel like Jeff Wilson, we've seen him as an efficient runner. He hasn't been like a target hog in the passing game. So I agree. I think Raheem Mostert, he does his thing. I think he's going to be the pass catcher. But again, when you have guys like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, I don't see a lot of volume for the running backs. They don't need a lot of volume. I just think I think the overall run game is so much better. Now you have Jeff Wilson. I think it's going to be more efficient. It's going to be 1-2 punch. I absolutely love that. And now, and Chase Edmonds, we'll mention him because we're contractually obligated to. He's just a death piece, right? It's just
Don't
a death piece.
Don't touch him.
Yeah, he's just a death piece.
He's a third down back for the Broncos. It's already been, out there in public. That's what they're going to use him for. It's nothing. Don't touch anybody in the backfield at Denver. I just don't feel as though it's even worth wasting your time and headache. Murray, Gordon, they're obviously going to be the 1-2 co-starters, and it's like, it's nasty work, man. Why would you want to deal with that weekly? And Chase Edmonds is not working out. He doesn't have the best confidence right now. He just got shipped off after getting paid. So his confidence level is low.
No, he's going to Denver. He's a death piece. I still like, if you're gonna go anyone, I like Latavius Murray still. I feel like he's the most effective back. He's the one that scored the most points. I like Latavius Murray out of all of them, but I like it. Okay, let's talk about another huge, pretty interesting trade.
Interesting, of course. Yes.
Chase Claypool to the Chicago Bears for a second. So now I have mixed feelings about this trade. Chase Claypool. Do you think that he is better than Darnell Mooney? Who do you think is better, Chase Claypool or Darnell Mooney? Who's better?
Right now, I'm going to lean with Darnell Mooney, just based on previous chemistry with Justin Fields. But I wouldn't sleep on Claypool on the back end of the season towards playoffs, like fantasy playoffs. I can see him getting something going because they're a low passing, offense. Like they're trash. They're running the ball priority. And I could see Chase Claypool getting involved on some, jet sweeps, end arounds, whatever the case may be. But like Chase versus Mooney, it's like, it's kind of a toss up right now because just based on the low passing volume.
And I think we're so used to Mooney just being there because not having a lot of competition. Does Chase come in and because we haven't seen Chase be a target guy, right? I feel like in the Steelers offense, he's one guy who's been efficient, long bombs, scoring touchdowns, not necessarily in a lot of volume. So does he come to Chicago and command a high target share? I don't know. But like you said, it's a low passing volume offense.
Yeah.
So I think, but we know Justin Fields has the arm. So I think we're going to see a lot of like go routes, deep shots.
I can see the go routes. I can see him taking shots. My only issue with that is like, I don't want them to beat that to death every single game. Like, don't force him to get involved. Don't force him into the offense. If it's not working, it's not working. Because these last 3 weeks, Justin Fields has been playing better. Let's just say that. QB5. Like, we can't knock him. You know what I mean? So I want to keep what they have going on. Keep running the ball. Keep pounding. Keep making design runs for Justin Fields because that's obviously what's working. They found the formula. Don't try to force a guy just because you paid up for him, in the offense and kind of knock everything out of whack.
No, I agree. I think I'm not very excited. I think he's a flex play right now. And so further notice, I'm not getting overly crazy for Claypool. In Dynasty, if you have him, cool. We'll see what he becomes. I feel like a second isn't an insignificant piece. He's going to be part of this offense, but I think we need to see the offense become a little bit more dynamic. We know it's a running offense, and I don't trust the passing volume, man. I think it's going to be more on efficiency. I won't put him in
starting lineups until I see life, like consistent life. I'm talking like 2 games in a row. Like, oh shit, like 1 game ain't going to do it for me.
Yeah, I like a lot of these takes in the chat. Like he's going to see 4 to 5 targets. And I think if he sees 5 targets a game, I think that's enough because I believe the targets are going to be deep shots, right? They're going to be deep down the field. So he has upside.
Yeah.
And I see it. Look,
And
I
he
think
could get involved in the run game as well, which is okay. You know what I mean? Like there's some type of upside there. I'm just not ready to publicly say go put him in your starting lineup
yeah,
because
there's
it's
a
just not
lot of
realistic.
Chase Pool love,
Yeah.
which I think is fair. I do.
Yeah.
I think he
I
has
love the
upside.
trade. I have nothing against it, even though it was a
They
second.
needed to. They needed to do a trade because their wide receivers are just so awful. So they needed to do something. So I do like that a lot. All right. A trade that I want to talk about, man. This was I know the Bills were looking for a running back, but I was not expecting Naeem
Yucky.
Hines. So tell
This is
me,
yucky.
yeah. So you tell me, man, Naeem Hines, right? So let's look at the roster. So they have Devin Singletary, the Buffalo Bills. Devin Singletary is their starting running back.
Yeah.
They just drafted James Cook in the second round. And
Man.
now they go trade for Naeem Hines and they traded away Zach Moss, who just didn't do anything for them. So now they have Devin Singletary, Naeem Hines, and Zach Moss, right? James Cook. So James Cook, Naeem Hines, they basically do the same thing, right? But they're excellent pass catching running backs. And Devin Singletary is kind of he's decent.
He's in between. He's decent.
He's in between. So what are your opinions on that trade? Should we be really excited for Naeem Hines? Is this an upgrade? What are your thoughts about this Naeem Hines trade?
I think it's nasty work all around. I mean, Singletary obviously takes a hit, with his PPR upside, the little that he had. Like the man was getting a good amount of targets per game. And like Hines comes in, he just completely kills any hype for James Cook this season. Like when I first seen it, I was just like, no, why would you do that? Why would you kill James Cook like that? But who knows like how far, this is going to go. Is this a long-term thing, or are they going to end up like Zach Moss and James Cook? Like, is this what we're looking at right now?
Because I've seen some takes like on Twitter and stuff about how this might be a good thing for James Cook long term because he can learn under Naeem Hines, blah blah blah. But for this year, James Cook is not someone that I'm going to want to be starting in fantasy lineups until further notice. Naeem Hines is very interesting flex play.
Yeah. But even for Dynasty, bro, for James Cook, you're kind of worried because it's like, what if they extend him? What if they sign him long term? And then it's like we're looking at Zach Moss all over again because that's exactly what happened. Like they gave Zach Moss opportunity to have this type of role. It didn't work out. And then Singletary ended up just taking over the back half of that season last year. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why? Why did you just do that?
Yeah, I don't know, my guy. I know they wanted running back help. I was hoping Kareem Hunt was going to go there, but
I was hoping Melvin Gordon or somebody that can go over there and get revamped.
I don't want Melvin
Gordon doesn't suck, bro. He's just pissed off. He's not happy. Send him to LA, and I'll take him.
LA desperate. LA is absolutely desperate.
Yeah,
so
very
I
desperate.
feel in that. But
speaking of LA, though, can we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. All
right, let's get into the trades that did not happen. Like the trades that should have happened, but just didn't happen. And we just are left with not knowing why. Like the first up, obviously Cam Akers. Like my input on it is so weird because it's like, I'm not surprised he wasn't moved because last night Cam Akers is tweeting, I miss football. Then he replies to a fan and says, if it was up to me, I'll be playing. So it's like, okay, then just play. just go back and play. So he doesn't get traded. The deadline hits, and then there's a report saying he doesn't feel as though him suiting up is the best thing for his future. Like, what? What are we looking at right now?
Well, I mean, the only reason I would say that if he doesn't suit up, right? I think originally he was hoping he got traded. He wanted to get traded, and that's probably why he didn't suit up. So he can get traded and he can play for the new team. Because if he got injured while being a Ram, then his value would plummet significantly. So I think that's probably the reason why he might have said that.
At least it's like it's a bad look, bro. Like you don't have a job. It's not guaranteed you're going to get picked up. You're coming off an Achilles tear, and you haven't looked good. You have not looked good. So your value is already shot before you even like pulled this shit of not wanting to play. So he screwed himself.
It's sad, bro. It is really sad because he looked so good prior to that injury. Now he had to look the same, but now it's just like, now what's going to happen? He should play now. He absolutely should play now because again, the only other option is he gets released. I don't see that happening.
He
Maybe
might. They might save some money actually. You know what I mean? I don't know. They might have to eat like a little less than 2 mil because he's not a crazy value in like contract wise. I mean, I feel as though if they release him, bro, he'll get picked up eventually, but it's not going to be as soon as everybody will hope or he will hope.
so. What about like Ronnie Rivers? Right? Is there any hope for him? Is he going to be a factor? Like what's going on in that backfield, man?
He's
So
not
you're the
efficient.
Rams fan.
He's not efficient. I mean, I was wrong about, him getting touches, but the thing is, it's like those touches didn't mean anything. He was the most inefficient running back on that roster on Sunday. So it's like, I feel as though if you're looking to pick up any Rams running back for redraft dynasty, I just recommend you wait, until everything just unfolds because obviously them trying to trade for CMC, they're not happy what's in house. So you're going to go out there, you're going to pick up a Ronnie Rivers, a Malcolm Brown, a Darrell Henderson. They're all on a wire. You're going to waste your time because they're out there trying to actively get a running back. Now the deadline is hit. So you know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go to the draft and they're going to draft another running back.
Wait. But I want you to talk about Kyron Williams, right? So Rubio, the running back's Kyron Williams. He's on IR. He could get
Yeah.
activated, I believe, this
Yeah.
week.
Yes, he
So
could be activated. The 21 day window is already activated, so he's at practice. He's getting
is
ready,
he
but
good though? Is he any good?
he's good. So here's my thing: he's good. The reason why McVay loves him is because his understanding of the game. He's out there, great pass blocker, third down back. He has the like PPR upside, but the problem is this dude cannot stay healthy. We're already seeing signs of what we saw out of Darrell Henderson, out of Cam Makers. Injury throughout the year. And it's like, dude, you barely even touched the field. Like, what's happening? You're injured in camp, break your foot, and then you get injured in week 1 on special teams, on kick return. So now my problem with that is it's like you invested into this running back. You want to get him involved for fantasy, for dynasty. It's like, it's nasty. It's nasty all the way around because it's like you don't know what this guy can do. And they're going to constantly keep that running back rotation going. The days of Todd Gurley, that workload for one running back are long gone. I keep saying this. This is 2 years now. Long gone. It's not happening again because you've seen what happened to Todd Gurley. McVay does not want that to happen again. That's why you keep getting the drafts. You keep getting Cam Makers, Darrell Henderson, bring back Malcolm Brown. Then you get Kyron Williams this year. It's like it's never ending.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Kyron Williams is available, whether it's redraft or whatever, I'll pick him up just as a speculative ad because that running back room is so wide open. I'm trying to get one of those pieces. All right, what we're gonna do is let's shift gears. Oh, let's talk about Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks.
I'm about to say that is one we have. What the fuck happened with that?
But you guys. We're about to get to Q&A in a little bit, so you guys drop your questions in the chat. I know a lot of people have questions in the chat, even Waiver Wire questions, right? We're going to probably touch on Waiver Wire in a bit, but drop your Q&As in there. We're going to get to them very soon. Every questions, we're going to get to your questions in just a little bit. All right, but Brandon Cooks' reaction. Brandon Cooks, man, I cannot believe he didn't get traded. I thought
that was my number one first trade of the day. Like, oh, that's locked in. That's gone.
And look, the Rams, there was a lot of people in there. I think the
Rams, Cowboys,
Vikings. There's a lot of.
Apparently, the deal was ready for the Cowboys, and it just didn't make it towards the deadline. Like, did you see that?
I saw some news about that. Like the Cowboys,
like it fell out. Like, there was no time. Like the clock ran out, and they couldn't.
And then the Brandon Cooks was mad that he was mad at getting a trade.
I'm pretty sure they told them like, all right, we're getting ready to move you to Dallas.
Yeah, and then pretty much I think they were like playing around with. He felt disrespected. They're like, "Hey, I thought I was gonna get traded. You had all this time, and they didn't pull the trigger."
He's questionable now for Sunday. He's not playing Sunday. There's no way
he's not playing. But the problem is like, what are you gonna do? Is he gonna sit out? You're not gonna release him. They're absolutely not going to release him. So he's just gonna be on the roster and just not doing anything.
But the problem with his deal is like the deal is good this year. It's minimum money. It's the $18 million next year that a team has to eat. That was probably the problem with Dallas. That's why it probably fell through.
But they could have like they could have restructured and negotiated a contract. Like I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
that
all the
that
rules,
that
but
brings another layer into negotiation, and it's trade deadline. That's why I think it just didn't make it past. Like it just fell out. They couldn't
But I
get it
mean,
done.
like, but people were interested in him for a couple of days now. So I just feel like people
That's
knew
so
what the trade
weird.
deadline was, and
Yeah.
they knew he was unhappy. They knew he was available. So I was really surprised that that happened. But all
Yeah.
right, guys, we're about to switch gears. We are going to go into Q and A's. So drop your redraft questions in the chat. Let me go in here. Let me find some. I know y'all been sending some all show. We appreciate it. While I'm looking at it, make sure y'all giving this video a thumbs up. Really helps us out. We really appreciate everybody rocking with us. Make sure you're liking this video, turning on the notifications, subbing, all that.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's try to get through these quick. Okay, which side you taking? Late 2023 first Walker for Eckler, late 2023 10 team, and I own 2023 first. Win
God
now team.
damn.
Ooh, I will say that you're a win now team. I actually like the Walker first side because I feel like Eckler obviously is amazing. Walker's ascending as an RB1 and you're getting a
Yeah.
first. I
And you
like the
get
Walker
first.
side.
Yeah. I like the Walker side for sure. I was about to say.
Yeah, I
That's a
like the
good
Walker
point.
side. And I get the question because Eckler's just amazing. But okay, so how do we think we kind of touched on this earlier? How do we think Mostert is affected by Wilson, if at all? I think LQ actually tweeted about it, like a 60-40 split. I think it's going to be a
Yeah.
dynamic duo thing, 1-2 punch. I don't think they're not trying to make Mostert a workhorse. I think they want the split because, again, they want to keep him healthy. This team, the Dolphins, have the ability to be a wild card team in the playoffs. I think they just wanted to make sure both backs are healthy. Okay. What's the value of Hawkinson now in a 10 team? What should I seek since I already have Goddard and Schultz? Ooh. Well, I mean, I don't know if this is a redraft question or a dynasty question. If I'm you, because right now Hawk he's being perceived as like a very high end tight end one, or at least mid. I would say mid tight end one. That's probably what his right because we were
Yeah.
looking at a ceiling. Right? Looking at a ceiling in the Vikings offense. I would try to flip him for a solid either running back 2 or wide receiver 2 that's can make an immediate impact. I would flip him for someone like that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm flipping him for my team needs. Always a good deal to flip a guy when you have, a solid tight end group. I mean, flipping tight ends is like something I like doing. That especially guys that name still sells. Like I could flip Schultz right now because people still want him long term if we're talking dynasty because they think he's the next man up, the next Witten. But not dissing him or anything right now. I just don't like that PCL injury. But anyway, this is great. You should be able to flip him easily.
Yes, sir. Okay. Next question. Am I putting a waiver claim on Ridley in my 12 team? Yes, absolutely. Do it now.
Yeah.
You are absolutely putting a waiver claim in for Ridley.
Absolutely. Top
Look,
priority, my guy.
yeah, look, and there's different types of leagues, so I get he could be available. So, okay, who is a better waiver wire ad for this week? Terrace Marshall or Kadarius Toney? I'm not interested in Sky Moore at all. I'm not a Sky Moore guy, at least not for
I was,
redraft.
but nah.
DeAndre Carter. I actually like Josh Palmer better than DeAndre Carter. I don't know if Josh Palmer's
Carter's not
available.
consistent. He's a
I
special teams guy.
I think Kadarius Toney has the most upside. Out of all these guys, Kadarius Toney has the most
I
upside. I'd be
disagree.
trying to add. Who do you
Here
think
we
has the
go.
most upside?
Terrace Marshall, believe it or not.
Upside. Okay, here's the thing. I know Kadarius
Believe it or
Toney. I
not.
don't believe Kadarius Toney is going to get a lot of volume, but he's a more significant, a way better offense. Even if he doesn't,
Rest of the
even need a lot
season?
of volume.
Have you taken rest of the season?
Kadarius Toney.
Bro, I know how talented he is, but I'm thinking rest of the season. I don't know because he's in a wide receiver by committee. That ball's going to spread it around, and he has to not get rushed into the offense. That's quote unquote from Andy Reid.
Yes, Terrace Marshall's the wide receiver 2 on it. Okay, like the team looks better with PJ Walker.
Making plays. He's finally making plays. The truthers are coming out.
But Kadarius Toney is way better. He's a way better talent on a better offense. He just the volume is a concern.
Going to play. We don't even know if he's going to play the next couple of weeks. If you need points right now, the waiver wire, you get the guy and you want to plug him in eventually.
KJ, I'm sorry that LQ and I do not agree on this, but Terrace Marshall might get more targets, I guess, but Kadarius Toney has more upside. I'm sticking with it. All right, let's continue to go through the chat. Okay, yes, I see there's a lot of questions about Ridley. Look, if Ridley's available in your league somehow for Dynasty, pick him up absolutely, or trade for him. There's a good time to try to buy him cheap because, again, he's not playing till next year. I'll try to do it. Okay. That's not a question. Okay, what is a better who is a better play full point PPR this week? Gabe Davis or Christian Kirk? Gabe Davis to me has this more upside. I like Christian Kirk. He's good. Christian Kirk hasn't really done that much. He's been okay.
Here's
but I feel like
if we're gonna go with volume,
Christian Kirk's gonna get more volume, but
yeah, he's leading the team in targets.
But Gabe Davis, we've seen Gabe Davis didn't have a good game last week, but we've seen what Gabe Davis can do.
You know, very little with Gabe Davis though. Like I'm
he
not
doesn't get targeted.
Fucking 2-3 catches a game, which is boom or bust. Like I hate that. I hate sitting in the third quarter and this guy has 0.7 points. I hate that. And then you get into the fourth quarter, he catches a touchdown, you're saved by 10 points. No, you can't bet on that every single week.
No, I mean, I agree. I agree. The thing about it is just like, but in the game of fantasy football, we go for upside. Christian Kirk, yes, he's the wide receiver on the team.
Volume is king.
Volume, look, I like the volume, and I think that Christian Kirk has a more solid floor than Gabe Davis. But Christian Kirk, who's more likely to win you your week? Christian Kirk or Gabe Davis? Gabe Davis is more likely to win you your week because we've seen him explode. We've seen what he can do. We see he gets targeted down the field, he scored touchdowns, and he's in the best offense in the freaking league.
Hold up.
And he's the wide receiver 2 on the team. So
Sauce Gardner, the Jets defense, they are really like that. They're allowing 58.7. Don't quote me on that number, but they're allowing 58 something in quarterback rating.
No, but listen, I know Sauce Gardner is the truth. The Jets defense is very, very good.
He can't lock up Gabe Davis.
What if he's on Diggs? He could be on Diggs too.
Floating everywhere. He's just not going to touch the slot, which is whatever. But I feel as though based on the matchup, they're going against the sucky ass Raiders. Christian Kirk has a ton of upside. This is the bounce back you want with Trevor Lawrence. He's going up against a defense that's giving up a lot of fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. So I feel as though this week, a better play full PPR, you go with volume. Volume is king versus a division rival against a defense that's actually cooking right now.
Nah, fair. Okay, let's get to the next question. Y'all continue to drop your questions. We're going to answer a few more. And we also want to touch the waiver wire just a little bit. You know, we're going to touch on some names I think you should be aware of. But if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. We're going to do our thing. All right. So Tyler Boyd for Kenny Pickett and Dynasty. If it's super flex, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it.
I don't know. I don't like it.
You rather Kenny Pickett. If it's a super flex league, you rather Kenny Pickett. If it's not super flex, then I want Tyler Boyd. That's
simple as that. Yeah, I feel as though right now it's just nah.
He says, okay, Christian Kirk, wide receiver 15 through 8 weeks. Gabe Davis, wide receiver 37. Yeah, but Gabe Davis is also hurt, so it's like
Oh my!
He was hurt. Gabe Davis was hurt.
Oh, he was hurt. But I'm running the most routes on the team. I'm hurt. That sounds selfish to me, my guy. You out there running inefficient routes.
Bro, anyways, okay, is Conklin for real?
Yes.
Here's the one thing about so Conklin, he was really good in the beginning of the season with Joe Flacco. Then he disappeared. Then all of a sudden he has a good game again.
That is true.
Then he has a good game again. So I feel like in tight end land, if anyone puts up somewhat consistent production, you get excited for it. So
Conklin is real if the Jets are down. Because Zach Wilson will try not to make stupid mistakes. Instead of him throwing the ball away, he'll dump
it like 300 yards. He just looked terrible doing it.
He's going to dump it down to the safety net, which is Conklin, the tight end position, or the running back. Like you shouldn't be seeing weeks where the running back and the tight end are your lead targets, and the wide receivers are fucking suffering. Garrett Wilson had a great game. That was out of nowhere. That was a great game, and I feel as though that needs to be consistent. But Zach Wilson's under pressure right now because they took their first loss with him. Salah's like, oh, I don't know why he's not throwing the ball away. We need to figure out this week why he's not throwing the ball away. Like, what?
Zach Wilson just sucks. I mean, but here's the thing: he might. I just feel like he's inconsistent. So I feel like, but with tight end, anything that's consistent, you get excited for. I'm afraid about Zach Wilson's inconsistency. Maybe he leans on Tyler Conklin, but I feel like for now, I think he's semi for real.
Playing by matchup, put it like that.
Yeah. Lost Breeze, can I trust Carter rest of season? Trust is a very strong word.
Yeah, I touched on this on the timeline, actually. I don't know. Like, this is one where it's like questionable because James Robinson, he basically lost his job, which we knew was going to happen eventually, but I don't know if we can lean on Michael Carter to be Breece Hall because Breece Hall was pulling away the job.
Question, but who's more talented? Who do you think is going to be the RB1 in the Jets offense? You think it's going to be Michael Carter? Or do you think it's going to be James Robinson?
1A, 1B situation because I feel as though they're both same.
I think Carter's ceiling is a low-end RB2. I think that's his ceiling.
I can agree with that.
His ceiling. So I think that if you're looking for a low-end RB2, Carter's your man. Carter is your guy.
Trust is a nasty word right now.
We appreciate the questions. All right, let's go to it. Is Algier going to be good for the Falcons? Waiting to sell high. You might need to sell high soon, my guy. Well, here's the in Dynasty, right? Cordell Patterson, he could be activated again this week. So for this year, I think that if CPAT is healthy, CPAT is definitely the RB1. I think we see Tyler Algier get mixed in. I just feel like
don't forget about Huntley.
Huntley's been good too. Huntley's been getting very involved in the offense.
They're literally like this in the rankings every single week, and it's disgusting. Both of them should not be seeing 50-50 splits.
They shouldn't, but they have been. I am afraid that for Tyler Algier, like what is he going to have the backfield to himself? Like, is this the best we're going to see? I just don't know if we're going to see him just outright take the Falcons job. No, I wouldn't mind.
That's what's alarming right now because him coming out of college, he has that workhorse ability. Like seeing his highlights, like he has it in him. I just don't think it's there for him right now with Patterson, with Huntley coming off the fucking practice squad. He's playing.
Yeah, I saw someone said, look, trade Algier for a second. If I could get a second for Algier, I'm selling that easy.
Flip it.
Easily send it for a second. Okay. Brian Robinson, are we buying in?
No.
And he does not look good. Look, I love Brian Robinson's story. Antonio Gibson looks a million times better as a running back than Brian Robinson.
Is king, but in this situation, long term, I don't think it lasts that long.
I think like after this season, I think what's going to happen, I think Antonio Gibson is going to be on another team. And I think that the Commanders, apologies. The Commanders
cancel.
The Commanders go for a running back. I think because it's just when you watch Brian Robinson, he like Ray and Jay Rich talk about this all the time on Wake Up with Ray G. He's a plotter. He is a plotter. He's just not. He just there. He's just okay. He didn't do anything special, right? He just big. He goes forward. Great. I think that if you can.
This is how I feel too with some of my process as well with guys. Like he's getting the vibe. So maybe he needs a second year, being that he started the season late, being shot. And if he can see this volume early into next year and run away with it, maybe. But we're talking about the Commanders right now.
Why are you mad at me, Mr. Scampers? Like, look, Brian Robinson, he's not that good. Like, I like B-Rob, but it's just he's valuable off of volume alone. Yeah. He's average.
He's getting 20 carries a game. Okay, you're going to get 20 carries, 76 yards, maybe a touchdown. Maybe.
He's average. He's absolutely average, and average is okay. If you're going to be average, then be average. You don't got to be elite. I think that's the thing, right? That's who B-Rob is. I think they might move on from him. That's really just how I feel about that situation. Yeah. But all right, last question. We're gonna we have to touch on the waiver wire in a little bit, guys. But let's see. Oh no, that's not the question I was looking for. Yeah, Mr. Scampos was mad at me. I don't know why. Okay.
Canceled.
Wilson reuniting with McDaniels Miami. Is this a win? This is absolute win. Absolute win for Wilson. I'm trying to pick him up in redraft. I think look, him and Moses are gonna split the carries.
Yeah.
I like him cheap in Dynasty. I don't know. They didn't invest a lot in him. Is he going to be with the team after next season? I think that he's a McDaniel guy. They have a good relationship. He's going to be on the team. Maybe not in a high volume role, but yeah, I really like him. But yeah, let's get to, and I appreciate all the questions, guys. Before we head out, though, we are going to touch on waiver wires because just for a little bit, there are a few names. I'll start with QBs, and then LQ, I'll let you do a running back, wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
So QBs, Justin Fields, like LQ said, he's been QB5 over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So he's been absolutely killing it rushing. I think that with Bradley Chubb on Miami, I think he has a lot tougher matchup now, but I like Justin Fields a lot. You have Andy Dalton versus Baltimore. I think he's a good streamer. PJ Walker versus Cincinnati. And Taylor Heineke. Versus Minnesota.
There in Carolina, though.
It's a crazy situation, but I feel like, look, there's a lot of teams on bye. Like, I don't got the bye. So you got the Cowboys on bye. I think you got the Broncos on bye.
Like 6 teams?
It's like 6 teams, right? You got 6 teams on bye.
You can't.
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers, right? So you're going to be looking at waiver wires. You beggars can't be choosers. All right, talk about some running backs that might be on waivers.
So there is some running backs on waivers. I think it might be a little too late for Gus Edwards and Deontay Foreman. But if they're out there, they're available. Those are guys who absolutely, obviously go pick up. Even with Gus Edwards banged up, I feel as though with this mini bye that he has right now, the hamstring is not as serious as they say. So I think he's still good to go. But moving on to like Chuba Herbert, I think you pick him up. He's a little banged up as well, but again, we're in hell week, so you need all the guys that you can get right now to be in your starting lineups. Quickly moving to Tyler Algier. He's still out there, a lot of volume. Again, you got to worry about Huntley, so there's that headache. That's that situation there. They're literally neck and neck in red zone carries as well if you're looking for the touchdown upside, so it's kind of like, again, another headache. Latavius Murray, I'm not too worried about Chase Edmonds over there now, but we already covered that. With him and Melvin Gordon as co-starters. So, again, hell week on the bye week. You need guys that have names on their jersey and ready to go. And I think Jeff Wilson shouldn't be on the waiver wire.
But a lot of people, like Mr. Scampers just said, a lot of people dropped him after the CMC trade. He's on waivers in a lot of leagues. Go get Jeff Wilson. He's going to be involved. Definitely go grab yourself some Jeff Wilson. Okay, I'll touch on wide receivers, and then LK, you can wrap it up with tight ends. Wide receivers, there's a lot of them. Okay, so Wan'Dale Robinson's still in a lot of leagues. I know he didn't have a good game last week, but I still like him. Paris Campbell, he still looked good even with Sam Ehlinger. Paris Campbell is still involved. He's still in a lot of leagues. I really like him a lot. Marquise Goodwin, if you're in a deeper league, I'm not shooting for him, but in a deeper league, Marquise Goodwin could be somebody. Yeah. Devin Duvernay with the Rashad Bateman injury. Devin Duvernay is on a lot of waivers. And DeMarcus Robinson saw a lot of volume last week. And you're in a deeper league, I like DeMarcus Robinson. My first priority, though, would be Devin Duvernay. I really, really like him. Are there any other wide receivers that you believe? Kadarius Toney, I think a lot of people probably already picked him up, but if he's on waivers,
that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other.
Van Jefferson on this list. I think he's a watch list. I don't think you go pick him up. You just have him on the watch list. Watch production, because last week 0 targets, 0 catches, barely involved. We were lied to that the playbook was fully open, but you just have to keep him on the watch list. He's a guy that you just have to monitor down the line. Maybe playoffs. So
what role do you think Kadarius Toney plays? I think that I think would be lucky to get 5 targets a game. I think he's probably, because I think he's going to spread it around. I don't know if he comes in immediately and commands a high target share from Juju, from guys. We know Travis Kelce is going to be the number 1 guy. And then he's going to have to, I think he might be the 3rd option on the team, but I think his targets are going to be, but he's going to be involved in jet sweeps. And all
he shouldn't be the 3rd or 4th option, though. That's the problem. But the way that offense is flowing right now, he's targeting like 9 different players a game.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about that. But yeah, those are just some wide receivers that I think are available. Tight ends. Who are some tight ends that we should be like thinking about for waivers?
I mean, tight ends wise, it's nasty work, but again, buys. Evan Ingram's my number one guy to pick up. That offense
Love
is looking
Evan.
amazing right now because Trevor Lawrence is like leaning on him a lot in situations where it's getting hot, where he's getting blitzed, and he needs a guy downfield that's going to be open in that seam. So Evan Ingram's like my number one tight end to go pick up. The volume is there. Like the last 4 weeks, he's seen as much volume as a Travis Kelce, a Zach Ertz, like these guys that we name that are high volume targeted tight ends, and like he's up there in that conversation where it's like, man, what the hell's going on? And he's still out there on the waiver wire. So pick him up. Juwan Johnson, it sounds nasty, but he's showing up too. He's making some plays. And
Last week he didn't do as much, but yeah, I like the call though. I
like him that I only like him because he's one of those guys you could put into your lineup. You're not expecting much, and then boom, there's 12 points. There's 15 points. And it's like, okay, I can deal with that for a guy that I'm getting, just to plug in for the bye week or plug in for an injury or anything like that. Or you might be like me that just constantly stream tight ends because you focus on other positions. Greg Dolce. Oh, how did I forget about him? He's like my number 2.
So he's on bye this week, but yeah, he's
still,
great.
Pick him up. Pick him up.
Yeah, no,
he's on
great.
bye. Pick him up. Sit on him because what we saw in London,
it's
real,
real,
man. That gave me Jimmy Graham vibes when Russell's over there in Seattle. So like that's something to look forward to.
I think he's gonna be a part of this offense for a very long time. He's gonna be leaned on. I like Greg Dolchis a lot. And Conklin, we mentioned Conklin too, so I think he's gonna be. Hopefully, he bounces back and does his thing. Oh, I like this call. Brock Wright in Detroit.
That is a mystery, my guy. That is a mystery.
It's either him or James Mitchell. I would not want any of those guys. Like in Dynasty, I'm picking them. I Brock Wright up or James Mitchell. But in redraft, I'm trying to stay away. I think it's gonna be the Amon-Ra St. Brown show. We have no idea when DJ Chark's coming back. I think Josh Reynolds is gonna be involved a lot more now. JMO, Jameson Williams is eventually coming back.
Huge stash.
But yeah, guys, so that's it for us. We're gonna be wrapping it up tonight. We appreciate everybody tuning in once again. Make sure y'all like this video. Helps us out a lot. We appreciate y'all. Like the video and sub before you go. Make sure you turn on notifications. LQ, where can they find you, my guy?
Listen, you guys can find me at Real Deal Fantasy on Instagram. Twitter is the home base. YouTube as well. Facebook, whatever the case may be. I'm still out there on the timeline. And of course, every single Tuesdays and Thursday we'll be here.
Yes. So make sure that every Tuesday we are here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time rocking TL Fantasy. But on Thursday halftime show, me, LQ, and Sam Ho. 10 minutes. We chill with you during halftime. It's so fun. Quick reaction of the first half. We preview the second half. We drink, we joke, we have a good time. So make sure you guys are there during the halftime show. And you can advise and follow me at T King Mode. Twitter's my home base. You can find me basically on all social media platforms, but Twitter's where I really do my thing at. But guys, thank you so much. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you on the flip side.